In today's video, I'm going to show you how to get a beautiful portrait on a gray paper with graphite pencils. Now for this, you will only need 3 pencils, 2B, 4B, and 8B, Strathmore tone gray paper, and a white charcoal. Whoever is interested in drawing this, I will upload this reference photo on my Patreon page, and it's going to be free for download. The link is in the description down below. Now, the great thing about this technique is that it doesn't take that much time to work on the shades, as we already have a quite good base since the color of the paper is gray, and this can really speed up the whole process. With white charcoal, you have to block the highlighted parts first and then slowly combining it with graphite. So whatever you noticed as the whites and the lightest parts, feel free to block it with the white charcoal first. This white charcoal is a bit more difficult to layer on a heavy layer of graphite pencil, so it's really important to go with the white first and then add the midtones and the darker parts. I started off, of course, from the eyes, working on each and every part, bit by bit, and I have to say this was such a great fun and also such a nice experience, as this even for me is the first time working with graphite pencils on a tone paper, and I cannot tell you how easy it was getting these values. So really, you should definitely try this technique out if you're a bit tired of just classic white papers and want to try out something new. By the way, this drawing is much more beautiful in real life. This reminded me why I don't like to film drawings with graphite pencils, and I always had struggles with the lights and the glares and the reflections. You will see in the end of the video, once I layer the hair, the amount of glare and reflection I had on the video is just insane. This is the only thing that I find really troubling when it comes to graphite pencils, is that actually filming them, is that they always have a glare and a reflection, and it can be quite hard to actually film the whole process, as the light cannot go directly on the drawing, so you're pretty much working. I was pretty much working in the dark, and apart from that, there is still a reflection. But I definitely won't give up until I find the perfect solution to start filming the drawings with graphite pencils more properly. But anyway, just imagine that her hair in the end of the video is very dark, that's all. So I used the brush to blend the graphite pencils, and I also used some blending stumps and cotton buds, depending on the parts that I was working on. So as I wanted those a bit smoother shades on the face, I used the brush, and for the hair and some details, the white parts as well, the lips, eyes, I used blending stumps and a cotton bud. So you can pretty much play with the blending materials depending on the parts that you are trying to blend. Also, don't press your pencils too hard while working on the face shading. I press my pencils very hard whilst working on the hair and the eyes, for example, but you have to have a good control over your pencil when it comes to working on the face. So I pretty much used more 4B than 2B on the face, and still the shades are looking really good here. They are not too dark, so just keep in mind to press your pencil a bit lighter while working on the face. As all these layers on the face weren't that dark, I was able to add a bit more of this white charcoal, just so I can create a nice balance between the whites, midtones, and darks. What I love about this is that the eyes somehow pop out even more when working on this paper. It's because you can use the whites to make them really stand out and create a very good contrast. Also, just make sure to give yourself enough time to observe the reference photo before you start layering the graphite. Here, it's really important to pay attention to the details, to catch the highlighted parts, also to catch the parts that are quite dark, as this is crucial for every portrait drawing that you do. If you want your portrait to be as realistic as possible, you need to make sure to observe the reference photo enough and to really study it before you dive into layering, shading, and blending. I know I keep saying that in almost any of my videos, but I really have to mention this, as this is something that is very, very important to observe and to study your reference photo. I always take a bit of time to study the reference before I start working on the drawing, as This really helps me like understanding the values, shades, transition, shapes and forms, and what makes this reference in this portrait so unique. So as soon as you do that, I'm sure that your drawing will be very successful. Also, in case you overreacted with certain parts when it comes to shading, you can always use kneaded eraser or a mono zero eraser to carefully erase the parts where you think you overreacted with it. This is also something very beautiful, as this medium can be so forgiving when it comes to making mistakes and correcting them. Now when it comes to the hair, this didn't take me that much time at all. For most of the parts I used 8B pencil, and whenever I wanted to create a bit lighter parts I used 4B pencil. I also used the brush to blend the hair nicely, and I really have to say that I'm so happy with how this practice turned out. Now when it comes to the hair, it's really important to follow the flow of the hair, as this will make your hair more realistic. Also make sure to work on some flyaway hairs as well. This is also something that will improve your drawing so much and give you a bit like more life to it as well. Also here you have to press the pencil a bit harder if you want to get that very dark tone. Also you'll see how the portrait will slowly start like to pop out as soon as you add this very dark layers of the hair. This created such an awesome contrast. I have to say that I absolutely love working on this portrait. I truly hope you will like the end results as well. I also added a bit of white charcoal on the hair because I wanted to create certain parts of her hair like to kind of pop out even more and to create a contrast. And once I did that, I went over it slowly with a bit of a pressure with a 4B pencil, just so I can blend them in between, and this really helped me create the hair like to look more realistic as well. Now, really for this portrait, it didn't take me that much time at all. I really enjoyed working on it. I truly hope you will like the end result. This is really such a simple but effective way to get a good portrait. Make sure to leave a comment down below if you like this drawing. Also, if there is anything else that you're using to create even more realistic look of the portrait on this particular paper, kindly let me know that in the comment section down below. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. Kindly support my channel by subscribing. Also make sure to take a look at more of my videos in case you're interested, and I see you all soon in my next video. Thank you guys so much. See you soon. Bye.